Charlie, I think you need to see this.
What is this?
Your wife has been killed. What you do is very important to what we do. Let us handle this.
I want mission-specific training, cash, and a new identity.
Have you lost your mind?
I want to find and kill the people who murdered my wife.
But Rami Malek is in fact the anti-action hero, and that's the thing that kind of works about The Amateur. This movie seems to have been made specifically with Malek in mind. So much of the character here reminds us of Mr. Robot, yet the role allows him to add some flourishes and some deeper emotional depth on occasion. The movie as a whole is fine as a throwback to sort of the 90s techno thrillers, but it works as well as it does because of Malek. He plays Charlie Heller, a workaday data analyst who works in the windowless basement of the CIA. The guy is a techno whiz in the office, able to master anything coded or hack into any surveillance software on the planet. But at home, he's socially awkward and can't tell someone's joking. His wife, Sarah, played by Rachel Brosnahan, accepts this part of him, and the two seem relatively happy together as the two different types of people. Sarah goes off on a business trip. Things take a turn, though. She's taken hostage and killed by terrorists while in London, devastating Charlie in the process. He wants revenge, but his bosses at the CIA don't just want the perpetrators, but the whole terrorist cell. So he finds some compliment on his own bosses and blackmails them into turning him into a trained killer who can track down the terrorists himself. The change from so many other revenge picks is that Charlie's about 100 pounds soaking wet and not a man of violence at all. Lawrence Fishburne plays an agency veteran assigned to turn Charlie into Charles Bronson, but it's not going to take. Charlie can't shoot, he can't fight, and Fishburne gives him very small odds of actually surviving. What we do know though is that Charlie is good at both planning and also explosives. So the whole thing is kind of a comedy of errors, leading up to what is equally funny of a particular revenge fantasy where the message seems to be yourself. The film is your regular globe-hopping thriller going from London to Paris to Istanbul and ending somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. Charlie is chased by the CIA, he chases the terrorists, and when they refuse to give up their partners, he explodes them using rigged-up bombs that make a great boom, or in some cases a splash, and how silly it is that he's able to complete some of these rigs by avoiding detection or blowing himself up is part of the film's ridiculous fun. There were a few times when I really got angry with the marketing department though here. Scenes that should be spectacular instead succumb to just being okay because they were already shown in the trailer. And while the main character is enjoyably different from your garden variety revenge flick protagonist, the movie still remains a pretty garden variety thriller. The villains are just one-dimensional baddies. There are some supporting characters who come in for a few moments but don't really amount to much. Some of them really could have been cut altogether just to help out this movie's pacing a bit, and mostly we're just sitting around waiting for the next kill. Or like I said, in watching Malek, who holds the screen well, whether he twitches through scenes of social anxiety or contends with the guilt of the wife he can now only see in hallucinations because of course Brosnahan needed more scenes. He's very good here. He also has a laser focus that works, like in comedic scene where he uses a self-help YouTube video to pick a lock, or one where he toys with a villain by dumping pollen into a medical chamber. At times, the film seems ready to pop off as another Man on Fire. Unfortunately, the film is hamstrung by a PG-13 rating. There are lulls between explosions, and even in those, it struggles to come up with the scenes that have that same level of bloodthirsty glee. It could have been better, but Malek is pretty perfect. That's why I'm going B-, guys. But that is my opinion. Love to hear yours. Let me know down below there. Also, if you could, click that like button, click that subscribe button, and I do hope to see you back next time. I thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.